So we've been casually skimming through the Book of Mormon. We've observed some really unique problems with it. And we haven't really even examined the content of the book yet. One thing the Mormons like to hold up in the Book of Mormon as proof of it being from God and a translation from a true ancient manuscript are the names, the proper names found in the book. Within the Book of Mormon, there are over 300 Book of Mormon names, and that is impressive. I've tried my hand at fiction at times back in years gone by, and I struggle to write a fictional thing that has more than 5 characters. So to try to write a book, you have 300 different characters with unique names, most of them, and many of those names tied to Hebrew. You might think, wow, maybe the Book of Mormon really was taken from an ancient source. So let's take a look at some of the names found in the Book of Mormon and see what we discover. Now understand, what we're doing here is really a side issue. It really is a non-event in the apologetic discourse between Mormonism and Christianity. This is something that takes us off course, really. But it is something, because we're covering the Book of Mormon, it's important. J.R. Tolkien, he came up with a new alphabet and with far more original names in his books, so it doesn't mean it's impossible to do. The most important issue relative to the Book of Mormon being a fraud is not because of things like this, but nevertheless they're fun to talk about. Admittedly, it would be faith-promoting to find all these Hebrew-like names in the Book of Mormon if Joseph Smith did not have access to a King James Bible. If he didn't, it would really make this miraculous. But if he did, the miracle of the names in the Book of Mormon is greatly diminished. Pretend I just came from the deepest part of the Amazon and I had a book with me that I said was of ancient origin and of the people of the Amazon Valley. And opening it, we read some characters' names bearing that say this. One character is Gufusi. Another one's name is Donia Ducula. Another's name is Dafuka. Another's name is Mikaru. Another's name is Minayupu. Another's name is Pluplu. And then we have Unki Scrusis. These are all characters in my book. And I came from the Amazon and I said, here is the thing. Now, giving me the benefit of the doubt, you might say, well, if Sean here from the Amazon never had access to any of Walt Disney's books, movies, videos, anything, then this truly could be a book. But what would you do if you discovered I had all of Walt Disney's books and characters and movies accessible to me there in the Amazon? And then it would sort of, you'd start to say, well, where do you think he got a name like Unki Scrusis and Mikaru and Pluplu? So that makes the names less impressive if Joseph had access to a King James Bible. So did he? Absolutely. A King James Bible? Yes, he did. In fact, the copy of the King James Bible that Joseph Smith owned in the 1820s was a bit different than the one that the LDS use today. Why? Because it contains some books in it called the Apocrypha. And a strong support for the fact that Joseph and his family had a Bible that had the Apocrypha in it is the fact that when Joseph and Emma bought their first family Bible, it had the Apocrypha in it as well. It just went on sale for $1.5 million. Now, we're not going to take a lot of time to explain apocryphal books in the Bible, but suffice it to say that Catholics put some apocryphal books in their Bible, Protestants do not. The word apocrypha in Greek has several meanings, but it really means secret or hidden or something that's hidden away. Books that are kind of Gnostic sort of, and secret knowledge has a major place in religious studies. But because there are divergent opinions about what books are apocryphal and what books aren't, I'm not going to give you a laundry list, but nevertheless, the apocryphal books included in the King James Version of the Bible Joseph would have used was the book of Tobias, Judith, the Wisdom of Solomon, Baruch, and 1st and 2nd Maccabees. Okay? Those were in his Bible growing up as a family. Why is this important relative to the Book of Mormon? Well, one of the Book of Mormon's main characters' name is Nephi. And the name Nephi is found in the apocryphal book of 2 Maccabees 1:36. That's interesting. Well, what about the other 299 plus original names? Sandra Tanner at utlm.org writes, when we examine the list of names at the end of the Book of Mormon, we notice that 141 of the names are taken directly from the Bible. So you can just take those right out. So now what do we have? We have some 150, 160 unique names there in the Book of Mormon. And Sister Tanner says, and this is important, many names not found in the Bible seem to be made up by rearranging various syllables and changing the ending of the Bible names. For example, while the Bible speaks of Abinadab, the Book of Mormon mentions not only Abinadab, but modifications of his name in Abinadi and Abinadam. And the Bible, Sandra states, mentions a person named Kish. The Book of Mormon has Achish and Kishkumen. The Bible has Gimzo. The Book of Mormon has Gimgimno. Smith not only borrows the biblical name Helam, but he gives different derivations of it, including Helamen. The Book of Mormon uses the biblical name of Antipas, which is of Greek origin, and then Joseph builds on it to form several names that have anti at the beginning, the prefix of each of the words, including a place called Anti-Nephi-Lehi. Joseph said no Greek was included on the plates from which he translated, so we know this was not a way of Greek language somehow getting in there. Melech is found in the Bible, but Joseph calls Melech in his Book of Mormon the same thing, but with a K instead of a CH. So if Joseph had taken my name from the Bible, Sean, he might have also come up with the name Anti-Sean, or Shaunaman, or even Shaha. That would have been a big one. And Shaha took up a spear and threw it at Derekah, you know. In the Book of Mormon, therefore, we have both Nephi and Nephi-ha. We have Moroni and Moroni-ha. We have Ammon and Ammi-ha. And we have Mathoni and Mathoni-ha. And then there are expansion names and altered names. For there's a Shem. We also have a Shemnilon. The name Corianton is slightly changed 3 times to Coriantor, Coriantum, and Coriantumer. Smith also uses the biblical word Gideon and shortens it to Gid into 3 unique names from there. The name Riplish, Tanner points out, seems to be the base for Riplikish and Replicum. And of course, there's the other names taken straight from the Bible, like Lehi and Enos. Then there are names of people who actually lived around his day and age. Zenos is one. That wasn't in the Bible. That wasn't anywhere in any sacred writings. But Zenos was actually a person who joined the Mormon church after the Book of Mormon was published. But still, that name made its way into the text. Then there are the names of the cities, which really get interesting. One of the biggies is the fact that at the time Joseph Smith was alive, and even today, there was a set of islands near Madagascar off the southeast coast of Africa, and the name of those the island change is the Comoros Islands. Comoros, Comora, maybe that's a stretch. Comoros, Comora. Okay, so maybe he got that from there, maybe not. But there's a city in the Comoros Islands at the time Joseph Smith was alive named Moroni. The Comoros Islands has a city named Moroni. After the Book of Mormon was published, Moroni was made the capital of the Comoros Islands. And so the Mormon defenders say it wasn't made the capital until after the Book of Mormon was published. But it's irrelevant. It was still a city in the Comoros Islands. Joseph Smith, looking for inspiration, opens up a map. Hey, look at this island. Comoros, and there's a city called Moroni here. Okay, and the Lord said, Moroni, go to the hill Comora, and boom. I mean, is this possible? Do you really think he was inspired to come up with these, or do you think he's taken them from that place? Not enough for you? Still buying into this literary lie? Let's look at some other city names and places in the Book of Mormon as a means of perhaps a better comparison. let's look at the names and places and cities in and around the home of Joseph Smith where he lived and compare them to actual cities that he includes in his Book of Mormon. So we're going to show you some graphs. Go ahead. So we have Ogath, and then we have a place called St. Agath, and that's in Canada. Then we have the Valley of Alma, and then we have Alma. We have Angola, and we have Angola. We have Antum, and we have Antrim. We have Antioch, and then we have the words anti. We have Boaz and Boaz. We have Connor and Comner. So Connor is an actual place that was near Joseph Smith's home, and Comner is a city in the Book of Mormon. All right, near his home, or also St. Ephraim, and we have the Hill of Ephraim. Helam and Helam with one L in the Book of Mormon. Jacobsburg and Jacob Gath in the Book of Mormon. Jerusalem's there, Jordan's there. Kishkimetenas is an actual Indian place, city near Joseph Smith, and Kishkumen makes it into the Book of Mormon. Lehi, Pennsylvania is there. Lehi gets it into the Book of Mormon. Keep going. Mantua and Manti, Monroe and Moroni, Minoa and Minion, Moravian Town and Morianton, Morin and Moron. I always like that name in the Book of Mormon, Moron. Noah Lakes and the land of Noah. There's Oneida, New York, and then there's the place of Oneida in the Book of Mormon. You want more? Keep going. There's those, Omner and Omner, Ramah and Ramah with an H in the Book of Mormon, Ripple Lake and the waters of Ripliancum. We have Sodom and Sidom. We have Shiloh and Shilom. We have the land of Midian and the land of Midian. We have Tecumseh, or Teancum, and Tecumseh is an actual place near Joseph Smith, and we have Teancum there in the Book of Mormon. So that is all really big, but perhaps even more convincing is what we're about to show you. All right? What really makes this interesting is come over here. We have a map. Derek's going to show us this map right up here on top. A man named Hawley in 1992 took the Book of Mormon. He took all the physical descriptions of where the cities were supposed to lay on the north of the East Sea to the east of the West Sea and all these different places, and he made a map. And so we can see that we have Teancum over here in the Book of Mormon. We have Morianton there. We have Angola. We have Jacob Bugath. We have Jerusalem here. We have Kishkumen here, Oneida here, Hill of Ephraim, Shur, Ogath, Morin. We have all these Book of Mormon cities, and he laid them out. Now, this isn't perfect. It's just his estimation. He could have gotten things wrong, but this is kind of what he put together. Now we pull back and we look at an actual map of both Canada, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and New York, and where in that large geographical area we have Tecumseh over here, actual map, and here we have Teancum. And down here in Ohio, we have Jerusalem and Jacobsburg, and here in the Book of Mormon, we have Jerusalem and Jacobagath, or whatever you call it. And we have Moravian Town here on a real map, and we have Morianton here. And the whole thing really essentially correlates. In Pennsylvania, we have Kishkimenutis, or whatever it is, the Indian place. That's a real place. And here we have Kishkumen. Where is it? Right there. Go all the way over here. We have Siloam, and we have Shiloh on the real map. We have Sherbrooke here, and we have Shur here. We have St. Ephraim here on a real map, and we have the Hill of Ephraim for the Book of Mormon. But it was really, really translated from some ancient plates, and it is Scripture. Don't you think? Apostle Jeffreyite Hollanda, back in 1994, said, quoting LDS prophet Ezra Taft Benson, this about the Book of Mormon. The Book of Mormon is the keystone of our testimony. Just as the arch crumbles if the keystone is removed, so does all the church stand or fall with the truthfulness of the Book of Mormon. The enemies of the church understand this clearly. This is why they go to such great lengths to try and disprove the Book of Mormon. For if it can be discredited, the prophet Joseph goes with it. So does our claim to priesthood keys and revelation and the restored church. I think it's time for the Mormon church to crumble, for Joseph to go, for the priesthood keys to get dumped in the trash, and for all to come to full faith in the author and finisher of our faith, even Jesus Christ. Let's open up